Alright guys, what's up? This is SonicSol here. I'm in DNF Duel right now. I have an early copy of the game. Clearly the game isn't out yet. Clearly there isn't even a day one patch. I don't know if there will be one or not, but these are just my thoughts and these are just things to expect within the coming week or so if there's tournaments for this game. What might be dominant early on in the meta. Now, if you guys want some DNF content, be sure to subscribe down below and leave a comment down below. But let's just get started with this. Who are the 5 characters that I would choose from immediately if I was starting this game out in tournament level play? The top 5 characters to me that I would look at if I'm trying to scum out a tournament or just win a tournament immediately, it would be Swiftmaster, Ranger, Dragon Knight, Troubleshooter, and Crusader. Those are the 5 characters that I would pick from if I'm trying to scum out a tournament immediately at the start of this game's lifespan. Like if I'm just trying to rob people. And I will explain my reasoning why. First thing is Ranger. In the beta, Ranger was extremely strong, right? He's a very strong zoner. He's capable of being able to play this really strong mid-range with these bullets. And he's capable of converting those zoning tactics, the bullets, into combos that will lead into Oki situations. When he does his 5B or 2B, he can immediately go into his 2S, and then he can go into his quarter circle back, his 214 MS or 214D, which is the gun raid where it spins around. Then he can set play you with the grenade, right? And from there, he's in a very favorable position. The set play from the grenade allows him to react to your roll. If you jump, then he can see it and anti you with his DP. If he sees that, like, again, if he sees that you roll, he can throw you. If you press a button, the grenade will be there and it'll pop off. If you try to DP, the grenade will still be there and it'll explode, being a trade in his favor. And he can throw you, the grenade will blow up, and he will get a combo. Plus, if you block, he's plus. So I think Ranger's set play is very strong and something that you have to worry about when fighting against this character, fighting against Ranger. And his debuff, basically, his debuff on the opponent when he's in Awakening, it essentially allows for him to get more damage from what he's doing, and more importantly, like, it just makes him harder to deal with. It makes him harder to deal with. I would just say to pick Ranger if you want to utilize zoning and get rewarded for zoning early on in the game. A lot of people will also have a hard time. This is true in every fighting game. A lot of people will have a hard time dealing with zoning in the first week of the game, navigating around fireballs and understanding what to do. So Ranger's a really good pick if you're trying to play early. The second character is Crusader. Crusader's another one in the beta who's really, really good. Just off of his bruiser style alone, he has the most health in the game. The most health in the game. And his buff, while at 30% awakening, basically doesn't allow for the opponent to just kill you in like one hit, right? Like, he gets, I think, a 30% defense buff, and he takes less guard break damage, right? On top of that, we've seen with Crusader, his buttons are really strong, capable of just converting into big damage. The wall that appears in front of, like, in front of Crusader but behind the opponent jails them in and allows for him to get started on offense. With his armor, right? When he puts basically the Z Broly shield up, he gets enhancements on all of his normals. They do lightning, and he gets to loop it over and over. And if your opponent doesn't know to roll past those normals with the lightning on top of it, then you could just do it indefinitely until it guard breaks. But if they roll, then they can throw you. They can do a low after to prevent your counter. So there's counterplay to it, but the players have to understand that going in, right? On top of that, with Crusader, like I said before, since his defense value is so high, he has the highest health in the game, he can get away with a lot of mistakes. Like, you can get away with a lot of mistakes and still cash out on the W if your fundamentals are still good, right? Also, remember, like I said with the armor, even though that they can roll to deal with you doing repeated normals, you can adapt to that and punish the roll if you know it's coming, right? It's still a RPS that you can easily manipulate your opponent with. His counter is pretty good, but it loses to lows, and his DP has armor on it, right? His invincible wake up also has armor on top of it, so you have to throw it. It doesn't have full invincibility, it has armor, so you could throw it. His Javelin is also really degenerate as well. So I think Crusader's really good. His damage output's also really good. So he's another easy character to kind of like pick up. Now, everybody's been seeing Swiftmaster all over the place, but the thing about Swiftmaster is the fact that despite his low health, he has really strong mobility. His conversions are really solid in terms of how much he can do. And the set play with the Wind Orb is enough to make people kind of second guess what they are doing on defense. Couple this with conversion, he's capable of actually mixing you up. And on top of that, he has safe jumps to deal with a lot of pressure within the game, right? In terms of people waking up on defense with reversals. The other thing too is that his passive increases his mobility, which allows for him to essentially move across the screen easily. And coupled with his 5B, which moves him forward, his 5C, which has a large range hitbox, and his 2B, which is a very good low, right? When you consider these options within the neutral, he can easily convert into good damage from this. The only downside in terms of like ease of use is that you have to learn Negative Edge in order to take advantage of his tap punch, or in this case, his giant wind blast, which basically causes a wall bounce, right? So there's one other thing to think about too. The other thing as well is, while he has a reversal, he's got the lowest health. He's like really squishy, so you have to be careful. Dragon Knight, man, this character in the beta has been extremely hard to deal with. Extremely hard to deal with. When somebody has proficiency with this character can two-touch you without having to be an awakening. Like, my god, right? The knowledge check with this character as well is with the dragon. The dragon, when she sends it out in the middle of block strings, the opponent has to be very conscientious of it and attack the dragon so that way she doesn't get to re-engage pressure. If they don't know this, she can have a lot of pressure on board. And coupled with the fact that they can also roll against the dragon, that's fine, but the dragon can spit fire right after it does its electricity attack. And that can end up sandwiching the opponent, which can cause for some BB Tag-esque things, or like some Carl type things. So, this character is very annoying to deal with if you don't have the knowledge check right away. On top of that, right, she has a really easy safe jump conversion that she gets, or rather a safe jump from a very basic conversion. She has this move where she basically uses her dragon hand to launch you up in the air and then it blows you up, and she immediately gets Oki from that because it's kind of like a knockdown that they can only tech once they land. So she gets an immediate safe jump after with her jump B, I assume. And from there, she can re-engage and start her offense very safely and reliably. Alternatively, instead of doing the safe jump, she can send the dragon out, Astra, and then have it spin on top of you. And then she gets a high-low mix-up or a throw from that situation that you have to worry about. When this character has you in the corner, any hit that she does, she can go into Stinger and then loop the dragon over and over again with the Stinger and continue to do a lot of damage to you. When this character's at 30% life, her buff is probably the best buff in the game. It allows for her MP to regenerate indefinitely, meaning that she can loop special moves over and over and over without the need of using system mechanics like conversion to build back her MP, meaning that she does a lot of damage up close. So yeah, this character is definitely really strong. Coupled with the really good buttons, the full screen S normals, I'm telling you, man, this character is really strong and has a lot of growth, a lot of potential growth moving forward. The final character that I said, the fifth character, would have to be Troubleshooter. My god, Troubleshooter. This character is extremely easy to pick up. This character is capable of just being degenerate, like unga bunga degenerate in the neutral. With normals like 5B, right, his 5M, with normals like his 5B, which is like this projectile that is like completely in front of him. You can do that into you can do that, his 5M, into his 5S, or his 5C rather, his 5, whatever, his 5S, right? You can do 5M, 5S, and then throw 6S, and his 6S is a grenade. And the grenade, right, will pop them. It'll pop them up in the air so he can get a confirm into his quarter circle forward MS, right? So though that one tool alone in the neutral, you have to worry about his 5M. His 5B, like his 5M, is probably like the biggest thing to worry about, because from there he gets a big conversion, right? And on top of that, these normals go really far on the screen and are capable of converting into big damage because of how easy his hit confirms are. With the grenade, right, he can meaty the grenade on top of you, right? The grenade is very plus, like his 6S. So you actually have to worry about what he'll do in terms of his pressure and when he has you knocked down. The other thing too is the fact that with Troubleshooter, whenever he lands a knockdown, he can throw the trap at the end of his pressure. That trap that he has with the net, right, he can set it off by attacking it with his 2A. Meaning that after he knocks you down, his 2A can set the trap off, and his 2A is a low. So you have to block low to deal with it, which means he can mask it. On top of that, he can also do the high with his jump B, which means he doesn't have to set the trap off right away, and he can hit you with a high, which will make you then have to worry about the trap that explodes afterwards, which will then lead into a strike throw mix-up. On top of that, he also has a move where he drinks, right? He drinks alcohol and it lowers his life, but he gets conversion, similar to Berserker. But the difference is that, unlike Berserker, where Berserker can indefinitely lower his life and get constant gray life and then recover his life back, when he drinks, he gets I think a 15% attack buff. A 15% attack buff, meaning that he's doing more damage, and he can splice that combo in conversion to get that attack buff. So since it's a normal move, not even a special, he can cancel that drink, that swig, into a special move, get the attack buff, and use the conversion to keep that attack buff, right? So basically he can do 5M, 5S into throw grenade, and then drink, right? Drink after he throws a grenade, and then he can use conversion to keep the attack buff on. So this character does a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Yeah, man, like, I think Troubleshooter is a very easy character and very strong right away, like, if you're trying to play. But yeah, those are my thoughts. To sum it up, the top 5 characters I would recommend you play if you're trying to scum out a tournament win would be Swiftmaster, Ranger, Dragon Knight, Troubleshooter, and Crusader. The 3 easiest being Ranger, Crusader, and Troubleshooter. So yeah. In any case, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. And yeah, please like the video and sub to my channel for more DNF content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be easy.